say this, and this is the reason why I didn't watch The View when Jake Tapper was on, when they were talking about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. I want to say I am ashamed of The View because they were clearly showing their biasness. I want to say I'm ashamed how they invited Joe Lieberman on, who is Meghan McCain's like idol. She was excited to have him on. And I want to say I'm shameful of the host as well, minus Sonny Hostin. Sonny Hostin is the only host that had some sense that actually asked that old frog, Joe Lieberman, whatever his hell last name is, about the conflict and the conflict occurring during Ramadan and about 500 people being told that they need to being pushed out their homes. So Sonny Hostin is my new favorite host. And I just want to say, because I knew this before, that The View is going to do this, that I'm just ashamed of The View for doing this. And I just want to say as well that thank you so much for the people on Twitter, especially even my comments that show support towards Palestine. This is my first time within my 28 years of living that I see a person like a Nora Erakat on CNN with Christiane Amanpour talking the way she's talking, about facts without being deemed anti-Semitic. Like, I am still not comfortable with not hearing that word whenever we talk about Palestinian in solidarity, Palestinian apartheid. I'm still not comfortable not hearing anti-Semitism when we talk about that, because it's been a propaganda word that's been touted amongst Palestinians for a very long time, way before I was born. And so this tells me that this is a move forward and a stepping stone, but this is also that tells me we got to continue to fight to get to where we want to get. And I'm just ashamed of The View. I'm really ashamed. Let's get to the video. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Subscribe, click the bell so you'll be first to know when I upload. I would also appreciate, for those of you that don't know how to go on Patreon, it's simply patreon.com/JOA. It's equivalent to just, commenting on my YouTube channel. They're going to ask for like an email or in the password for you to make, and then you just do your donation. It's really not that difficult. I forgot I've never really asked icebreaker questions, which I normally do as well. So this icebreaker question is, are you pro-Israel apartheid or are you against Israel apartheid? Let me know in the comments below. Please do consider going on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. The $15 yesterday was a month from one of my subscribers. Really shocked me. I want you guys to watch this video and I'll come back with some more.
Right. Meghan, will their constituents continue to buy the new narrative? I mean, after all the deaths, the police deaths, and all the things that went down, people going to jail because of this, do you think they'll continue to buy it? Or you think people will start to say, well, wait a minute?
Well, this happened 4 months ago, and we've been talking about it for 4 months, and I've made my perspective on this absolutely crystal clear. I think it's horrific. I don't believe the big lie. We've talked about Liz Cheney at length. But when Joy says friends of hers are frightened, friends of mine are frightened as well. I had to have a conversation with my executive producer yesterday about whether or not I'm going to be able to find gas in my car, because the lines at gas stations near where I live are down the street, or there's just no gas whatsoever. I'm privileged. I work at a company that's going to figure out a way for me to get to work. What about the average American? Do you know what's also a strategy, Sarah? A strategy is not focusing on anything the Biden administration is doing right now that is leading this country into crisis. There's a crisis at the border. Inflation rates are sky high. The Middle East is on fire. Unemployment is crazy. And a lot of Americans can't figure out how they're going to get gas in their car. These are real problems. It's like the 70s all over again. So I think there's a strategy going on that the media doesn't want to focus on anything bad happening in the Biden administration. And I implore everyone who works in this industry, just because Trump was so bad doesn't mean this is good. There are real meat and potatoes issues impacting average Americans who are also frightened. And I think we should be focusing on that versus relitigating something that happened 4 months ago.
Sonny, what's your opinion of all of this?
I think it's really important not to forget what happened just 4 months ago. I think the attack on our democracy continues each and every day by the Republican Party, and that is something that we cannot forget. January 6, 2021 should go down in history as the day that our democracy was attacked by insurrectionists started by a disgraced former, twice impeached president, one-term president. And that lie, the lie that he perpetuated, the lie that incited that kind of violence continues and continues and continues. And let's remember the officers that were attacked by those so-called patriots. That is Officer Michael Fanone, who was brutally assaulted while defending our Capitol from the insurrectionists. He can be heard pleading with the insurrectionists. He was heard asking them to let him go. He was asking them, telling them that he has children. And he also wrote a letter to those very officials who were testifying yesterday, denying that this insurrection happened. And he told them that he struggles daily with the emotional anxiety of having survived such a traumatic event. But he also struggles with the anxiety of hearing those who continue to downplay the events of that day and those who would ignore them altogether with their lack of acknowledgement. We need to remember Officer Fanone. We need to remember those Capitol officers, and Republicans can never, ever say that they are the party of Blue Lives Matter. They're the party of law and order. They should be ashamed of themselves for what they what they did yesterday, what they continue to do. And that is an important story that we should never, ever, ever stop talking about or forget.
So Meghan McCain has really pissed me off, and she like, girl, list other things you want to list about Joe Biden, but don't list about Middle Eastern problem, because that's not Joe Biden's fault. And I'm not defending Joe Biden. You know, don't even. I mean, you guys, I'm pissed off right now. I'm really just like pissed off to the point where she makes me mad, because when Joe was on the show, Mr. Joe Oberman, when he was on the show, she mentioned that Trump Middle Eastern peace plan worked, that it was peace in the Middle East. Like, oh my God. The propaganda of it all. And that's actually one of Trump's highlights, that there was actually peace in the Middle East. And I've been saying this for the past 4 years. For the past years that he's been touting that he made a deal that does not have been accomplished in the past 30 years, a presidency. And I was just like, you guys, this deal is a bunch of bullshit. And I told you guys, one of my subscribers were telling me about something that they saw on the blogs about Biden giving about $250 million to Palestine settlements, which is a bunch of BS. It wasn't reported in any big outlets. It was just on the blogs. So she can talk about the inflation rates. That's fine. You know, we are in an economic crisis. We're still in a pandemic. She can talk about the high in gas prices, which is proving to be false. That's not Biden's problem with the high in gas prices. She can talk about Biden's juxtaposition, like him not actually being presidential. He just had people behind his back, you know, telling him what to do. You can talk about that, but bitch, do not speak on Middle Eastern issues. Like, please sit your ass down, because you don't know shit, pig. You stupid cunt looking pig. You don't know shit about what's going on overseas. So shut the fuck up, because you don't know shit. She pissed me off. And piglet number 2, the woman that looked like she stank, Barry Wise, writing on Substack, you know, a failed little article that she keeps doing. You know, she's typing articles for money. Substack, you know, because she played victimhood of being discriminated against at New York Times. So she quit that. She's also the epitome of victimhood, like Meghan McCain. She's her writing is dangerous, and I'm happy she doesn't have the following that she has. The propaganda of it all from the left and right is dangerous. And no, I agree with Sonny. We're not going to forget the insurrectionists, because that's dangerous. Trump ignited the feelings of people from uncomfortability to comfortability. He ignited that. He really ignited that to the point where it's like, I mean, I've experienced racial profiling and racism, like, after this. Like, people are comfortable now with talking the way they want to talk. And so, while I don't agree with Biden on his stance towards Israel, and his biasness towards what's going on in Palestine, at least we have somebody now that's more structured, more polished, that reads from a teleprompter rather than someone that says anything that comes out of his mouth and bully people. Because had he been president for 4 more years, I literally think that this country could have been going towards a World War III, and that's just facts. Anyways, you guys, I mean, I'm done. Like, The View disappointed me. I watched when they had Jake Tapper on, when they had that old frog senator on, Joe whatever, and then when they had just all of them talking about it, and Sonny Hostin was the only one with a non-propaganda type of question, talking about Sheikh Jarrah, like a lot of Palestinians are being forced out of their homes, and it's mass genocide. You guys, it's not about Hamas. It's not about, they're looking this situation as it being like an ISIS, as people using the Muslim religion to form extremist groups. That's how they're looking. They're not looking at it in a way where it's like Palestinians, they can't live anywhere they want, like inside or outside their territory. They can't go to schools that they want inside or outside their territory. They can't go to hospitals that they want. They can't get married to somebody outside their territory. That's how bad it is. And so when I see, not all, some black people, which I wrote on my Twitter, I said the black people, but my caption said I'm ashamed of the black community. So when I see some black people say that they're pro-Israel, and don't blame this on the Bible, because what Palestinians are going through, the listage that I just told you just right now, are the same things black people go through here. It's all connected with real estate, finances, medical, whatever. It's all connected. And when I see somebody that's anti my people, that's black, that hurts me more than hearing President Joe Biden saying he's a Zionist and he's pro-Israel. Because y'all should know better as African Americans. Y'all should know better, and y'all should know what it is. And I understand that schools do not teach you this. So there's a lack of education and curriculum in school. And I understand that even African American history is not taught correctly in school. They don't say positive things. They don't say what black people were doing before slavery. So I get it. But please, don't listen to The View. Don't listen to Fox. Don't listen to CNN. I implore you to actually read what happened after the Holocaust, after Adolf Hitler. Read that. Read some history. Hell, watch a damn geography documentary. Look at something. And then if you have that disposition about being pro-Israel, then come back and tell me, hey, I made this decision based on this research, and let's have a discussion about it, because it hurts me when I see that. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do subscribe and click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Patreon.com/JOA. I appreciate the support. I'm trying to get to 500 people. Y'all know y'all like me. Y'all like my videos. Even people that don't like me, that John Tucker, the whoever be commenting negative stuff. I mean, I can't really name names. I just know John Tucker, the what's her name, Martha Ann High, Deborah Firestone, I believe her last name is. But Deborah, you know who you are with the green little icon. Y'all still come back to the channel, baby. I still come back. So Patreon, deuces, yay.